Yelaina? Yelaina!
Alright,
Where
let's
are
talk
you?
about something I hear all the time whenever I bring up a little bit of science or history about a film. I'm sure you've heard it too. Dude, chill. It's just a movie. I get it. But sometimes, the details behind the movie are just as fascinating as the movie itself. And today, we're diving into one of the biggest movie clichés out there. The idea that Siberia, and by extension Russia, is a perpetually frozen wasteland. The Black Widow movie was set in summer or fall. It definitely wasn't winter, except in Russia. While the snow was in a mountain prison, you wouldn't find deep powder at the peak in summer. That's why we have ski seasons. When movies need a cold, snowy setting, they often default to Russia, especially Siberia. When it's summer in the US, it's summer there too. Parts of Russia are farther south than Canada, aligning with latitudes in the United States. Taman, Russia, is opposite Kerch, Crimea. Along that same parallel are Minneapolis, Portland, Boise, Yellowstone National Park, northern Michigan, like Traverse City, Watertown, New York, and Bangor, Maine. Moscow is farther north, in line with Canada, but not with Santa and his elves. Much of Russia is in the Arctic and largely uninhabited, but the same could be said of Canada and Alaska. Its populated regions have a climate more in line with Toronto than the North Pole. Russia's average annual temperature is warmer than Canada's due to its southern extremes. Almost all of England is north of Russia's southern border, and Norway and Finland are largely north of Russia. Sweden is also unfairly marked as perpetually snowy, despite mild summers, with a midnight sun and sunless winters. Like Alaska, often painted as a permanent icebox, Russia has seasons. It has summer. And Siberia? It's immense. It stretches from the Ural Mountains to the Pacific Ocean, ending a stone's throw from Alaska. Its northern edge reaches deep into the Arctic, on par with central Greenland, while its southwestern tip, near North Korea, extends as far south as the French Riviera. Like North America, it has Arctic climates similar to Alaska's, but its southern regions have climates comparable to the American Midwest or Canadian prairies. In summer, it can get shockingly hot. In recent years, massive wildfires raged across the region, similar to Canada's record-breaking 2023 fires, with smoke so extensive it traveled thousands of miles, affecting air quality in Europe and North America. Siberia has also recorded temperatures over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 38 degrees Celsius. The idea of constant snow there is simply wrong. Here's a simple rule for filmmakers. If it's not winter in the American part of your movie, don't make it winter in Russia or Alaska, unless your characters are in the high Arctic. So which movies get it right? The good, Rocky IV, cleverly sets its final fight on Christmas Day. A snowy landscape in Moscow at that time was perfectly plausible. Quite simply, Moscow has Canadian equivalent winters. But nothing is absolute. In unusually warm years like 2017 and 2019, Moscow had to settle for only dreaming of a white Christmas. One strike against Rocky IV is that no one would guess from seeing the movie that Moscow was a city of 8 million people. The Muppets' Christmas Carol, 1992. During the song It Feels Like Christmas, a citizen of London sings about being together at Christmas, and the scene cuts to two mice on a globe who chime in, even at the bottom of the world in Australia, while wearing sunglasses on a sunny beach. The Modern Family Summer Lovin' episode. The family takes a trip to Australia over Christmas break. The entire episode's plot is driven by the culture shock of leaving a cold American winter and landing in a hot, sunny Australian summer, complete with beach trips and sunburns. Fast 5, which is set in Brazil, the Southern Hemisphere, missed this nuance. It should have been a freezing American winter in New York, or at least jacket weather for Dwayne Johnson if it was a blazing hot Rio summer. The Fate of the Furious does an even worse job. The movie transitions from balmy weather in New York City to a dramatic battle on a frozen sea in Russia. The problem is, if it's not deep winter in the US, the Barents Sea is simply not frozen over. The southern part stays ice-free all year, except the coldest winters thanks to a warm ocean current. The scene just doesn't work with the movie's own timeline. The equatorial reality. Of course, if you live in Bogota, Colombia, which is nearly on the equator, seasonal changes are different altogether. You don't have distinct hot and cold seasons. Instead, the temperature is consistently warm and spring-like year-round, and the seasons are defined by wet and dry periods. A final detail. Here's a fun fact. Due to perspective, the moon appears differently depending on your latitude. From a US-European perspective, the moon is upside down when seen from Australia or Chile. And when viewed from an equatorial city like Bogota, the moon looks like it's on its side. I would love to get flat earthers in the northern, southern, and equatorial regions to take photos of the moon simultaneously, compare them, and explain the moon's orientation. Well, we've reached the end of this video. This brings me back to that earlier "dude, it's just a movie" comment. I was recently watching a video where the creator was reacting to the Rambo 2008 movie. In one scene, Rambo uses a Claymore anti-personnel device to set off a half-buried, unexploded 12,500-pound tallboy bomb from World War II. Here's the fascinating part. The film points the bomb out earlier, making it a clear plot device for viewers familiar with the concept. But why would a young American even have unexploded bombs on their radar? It's a danger that's completely outside their daily life. This lack of real-world context didn't just mean she missed a detail. It literally rendered the bomb invisible to her. It was just junk in the woods. Though the film laid it all out, she was shocked by the massive blast, thinking the small Claymore caused it, because, from her perspective, the bigger bomb simply wasn't there. Some of us started explaining this in the comments, especially since she asked about it, pointing out that this is a real-world issue. Unexploded ordnance, or UXO, killed 2,426 people and injured 3,331 in 2023 alone. As one commenter was explaining that only a handful of planes could even carry such a bomb, others jumped in to tell us to chill out with the facts. But here's my point. I'm not bursting a vein over movie realism, whether the topic is bombs, weather, or superheroes. I love superhero and horror movies, which can be as unrealistic as you can get. I'm not on a crusade. And honestly, since when are interesting facts in a comment section somehow offensive? I know I may sound like I'm defending myself, but based on the comments I often see here, it feels like this needs to be explained. I just enjoy sharing the science and history behind what's on screen because I think it's cool. It adds another layer to the experience. And ultimately, that's what this channel is all about, pointing out things that might otherwise be invisible.